Welcome to Podception, a place where podcasters can go to have their most pressing questions answered by podcasting pros. My name is Stephen White, and this podcast is sponsored by Roots Recordings, a Chicagoland-based podcast production company that is eager to help you empower your brand storytelling through podcasting. Today in Podception's inaugural episode, we're diving into a question that every podcaster, rookie or veteran, has probably asked at some point. How do podcasts make money, and how can I start generating revenue through my podcast? Whether you're just getting started or you've already got years of episodes under your belt, this is something that always seems to come up. Now, if you've done any research, you probably heard the typical advice. Don't worry about money yet, just keep making content. Build an audience first and the money will come. And while there's some truth to those points, I've got to be real with you. I'm not a huge fan of those responses because yes, podcasting isn't primarily a money-making scheme. It's a platform for providing value, real, tangible value to an audience. If your only goal is making a quick buck, your audience will notice, and they won't stick around for long. But let's be honest, there's nothing wrong with making money from your podcast. If you're putting time, effort, and resources into it, especially if you're using a professional production company like Roots Recordings, it makes sense to look for ways to monetize responsibly. So today I'm going to break down the top 3 ways podcasts make money, and more importantly, how you can start implementing them to achieve profitability. Step 1. Sponsorships and advertisements. Let's start with the most well-known ways to make money from a podcast. Sponsorships and ads. This is the go-to method for many podcasters, and it works because brands want to be where the attention is. And if your podcast has an engaged audience, you've got something valuable to offer. Here's how it works. Pre-roll and mid-roll ads. These are the ads you hear at the beginning, middle, or end of a podcast episode. Through these ads, you can receive income based on how many viewers or listeners your podcast has. Then there's host-read sponsorships. This is where you, the host, personally endorse a product or service. These tend to perform better because they feel more natural. Affiliate marketing is an option as well. Instead of getting a flat fee, you earn commission when listeners use your special link or discount code to make a purchase. Now, you might be thinking, but Steven, I don't have thousands of listeners. Do sponsors even care about small podcasts? And that's a good question. The answer is yes. Niche podcasts with highly engaged audiences are often more valuable than massive shows with casual listeners. A podcast with 500 dedicated listeners in a specific industry can be more profitable than one with 10,000 random listeners who don't really care too much. So if you want to start landing sponsors, know your audience. Who are they? What do they care about? Reach out directly. Don't just wait for sponsors to come to you. Start pitching brands that align with your content. Use marketplaces. Platforms like Podcorn and Gumball connect podcasters with sponsors, making it easier to get started. Bottom line, if you're consistently delivering quality content to a well-defined audience, advertisers will want to work with you. Step 2. Listener-supported revenue through Patreon, memberships, and donations. All right, so what if you're not a fan of ads? Some people don't like putting ads in their shows. It's understandable. Or what if you don't want to rely on sponsors to make money? That's where direct listener support comes in. A lot of podcasters make money by asking their audience to contribute directly, and the best part of that is you don't need a huge audience to make this work. Here are 3 main ways you can do it. Through Patreon or other membership subscriptions. Listeners that use these services pay a monthly fee for bonus content, early access, or other exclusive perks. You can also get one-time donations. Sometimes people will support your work just because they appreciate what you do. If you use a platform like Buy Me a Coffee, it really makes it easy. Merchandise is a third option. Selling branded gear like t-shirts, mugs, or stickers is another way to turn fans into financial supporters. The key here is to give people a reason to support you. If all you do is say, hey, give me some money, that's never going to work. But if you offer something extra via bonus episodes, Q&A sessions, behind-the-scenes content, or more, people will be more than happy to pay for that exclusivity. And listen, even if you can only get 2% of your audience to become a paying member, those dollars can start to add up fast. Finally, you have the option to monetize your podcast as a tool to help your business thrive. Now, maybe you don't have a tool, but this is the real power move. You can use your podcast as a business tool, and then it becomes more than just entertainment. It can be a marketing engine for your business, your personal brand, or your expertise. And here's how people typically do it. They sell digital products and courses, right? So if you're an expert in something, you can create an ebook, an online course, or a webinar. Your podcast audience already has an interest in what you have to say, so you can monetize it through them. Consulting and coaching are another option. If your podcast establishes you as an authority, people will pay for access to the knowledge that you hold. And finally, you can generate leads for a business. If you have a service, then you can start generating leads through your podcast because people know you through your podcast. It becomes a lead magnet that brings in potential clients. Think about it like this. Your podcast is the conversation starter, which builds trust and provides value. So even if your podcast itself isn't making money through ads or memberships, it can still be indirectly profitable to start bringing in business. Finally, these were the top 3 ways podcasts make money, right? Sponsorships and ads, direct listener support, and then using your podcast as a business tool. So now we have some homework for you. If you've already started podcasting, pick one of these monetization strategies and start mapping out how you can implement it. If you're just starting out, focus on delivering value first. The money will follow when you build trust with your audience. And remember, whether you're brand new or a seasoned podcaster, Roots Recordings is here to help. If you need professional production, editing, coaching, or strategy, hit us up at rootsrecordings.com. And if you got value from today's episode, make sure you follow, subscribe, and share this with a fellow podcaster who needs to hear it. Until next time, keep recording, keep refining, and get paid for what you love. Thank you.